Nungu is nungu,
Okay.
and nongu is the same way of saying nungu.
Asian, other, Tamil.
Asian,
Tamil.
Asian,
other, Tamil.
Asian, other, Tamil.
Asian, other,
Asian,
Tamil.
other,
Asian, other, Tamil.
Asian, other, Tamil.
Vanakkam! Welcome to the Asian Other Tamil podcast, a podcast that brings our experiences of being Tamil to the table.
So that we can create a community that feels accepted, connected, and empowered.
We are your hosts, Danisha.
And Nishani.
Welcome to Oru Virunthukku Porom.
You might want to grab yourself a snack. You're going to get hungry. Grab yourself a snack, grab yourself a drink, and tune into episode 4.
Need to be
What does
covered. What's the
Tamil
first
mean
thing?
to you?
Yeah, you can say that.
Oh, SAAPADU, isn't it?
So, I would argue that this is probably going to be one of my favourite episodes. Would you agree? No?
Yes.
No?
I'm actually very excited for it.
Why did you look stressed? You're like, I don't like food.
you
It's all about
asked me a
food.
question and I wasn't prepared for it.
So this episode is all about SAAPADU, food, ella unavu vahelam. We're going to sort of structure this like you'd find in a menu. Starters, nibbly bits, breakfast snacks potentially, then we'll go into mains, then kind of go into desserts, drinks, and alongside there'll be a lot of other stuff that'll be happening in this episode. So the first things that we enjoy eating are shorteats, I think.
100%. I have a fun fact about shorteats.
Okay,
I don't know if it's fun.
just a fact.
It's
Just
a
a fact.
fact. Reading about how shorteats came about. So I've had my own sort of ideas about how shorteats came about.
What were your own ideas?
So I thought that mutton rolls in particular were made for people who needed to like travel for work. Like a fisherman by trade, like kadalukku poyekla, you'd need food, right? So what way to quickly make something that's like
Okay.
easily SAAPADU?
Yeah.
But speaking to my mum, she actually was like, it's not mutton rolls that was that SAAPADU. It was actually the malu bun, which
I'm not
was-
gonna lie to you. I would have genuinely gone.
Thought-
Why wouldn't a fisherman take a fish bun? Because
Yeah.
obviously it'd be more accessible.
Right.
Like, you would just take a
So,
malu bun.
speaking about shorteats, given Sri Lanka's geographical location
Yes.
and it being like such a hub for import and export from like Greek, like ancient Greek civilization all
Yeah.
the way to like the British, because it was so key in import and export,
Yeah.
all of our snacks have
Yeah.
come from Valinata.
Yeah.
So the rolls came from China
Yeah.
and Southeast Asia. Patties came from British.
Yeah.
Cutlet came from the British.
Yeah.
And we've basically just remixed it and made it for us. Came through all the various people who used to come to Sri Lanka
Okay.
for trading.
Yeah. Fun.
That was my overarching fact
Fantastic.
about shorteats.
So going on from that, I've just listed a couple of things with rolls that you've mentioned, veggie and mutton.
Yeah.
I have had a chicken roll. I need to say this right now. I'm actually a vegetarian. And then I gave up 7 years ago. It's been wonderful. I'm having a great time. But when I talk about these things, it's coming from a place of like pre-Nishani 7 years ago / I do admire our cuisine,
Yeah.
if that
of
makes
course.
sense. But sometimes I feel a real guilt for the admiration because it's like, I shouldn't, because it's like animals. Do you know what I mean? Do you know what I mean? You know?
Yeah, I hear what you're saying.
You know, so sometimes like, I shouldn't, but it's so nice. I should put that out right now because everyone who knows me, who knows I'm vegetarian,
Gonna be
they're
like,
like,
"Eh?"
she started talking about chicken rolls. Like, is she lying to us? Cutlet,
Yeah.
mainly fish. I did mackerel or like your tin fish, which is also still mackerel, isn't it?
Mackerel.
BTM mackerel, yeah. Remember them?
BTS, taste of the
Not BTS, bro. It's BTM. What is it? Behind the scenes mackerel.
Why not?
So yes, Marlabun mentioned egg and fish roll. What are your thoughts on egg and fish roll?
I only had egg and fish rolls as an adult.
Okay.
And it came highly recommended from yourself
Yes.
and one of our other friends.
Yes.
Particularly from one specific shop
Yes.
on East Ham High Street.
Shout out.
Shout out, Tyham.
Yeah.
The shop doesn't exist anymore, and any time I've eaten an egg and fish roll since then,
Yeah.
it's been very upsetting for
I
me.
feel like an egg and fish roll is really it's half an avichamutta and fish, right? And like if you don't like avicii and you don't like fish, it's probably the worst kind of roll.
I didn't typically like that combination. Like, I didn't really like avicii. So like for me, it was
avicii a boiled egg.
It was immediately a write-off, right? But then I tried it and I was just like, no.
It's so good.
But having said that though, where we have gotten our egg and fish rolls from, they did it right.
Yeah.
Like, I can't tell you the amount of times I've like indulged because I've seen an egg and fish roll in like other shops that sell it and they don't get the combination right. There's like this verticamanam that sometimes come from them, but the Thailand ones didn't have that.
How do you translate verticamanam? You know when you like have a runny egg and then it like stains your plate with that smell? That is what vertica is. That is the vertica smell.
And like fish and egg are smelly foods. So like, well, if you can't like deal with that verticamanam, it's bad.
To patties again, like a fishy. I was going to say pastry, but delicacy. And mordahem. In terms of like the sweet version, we just had the mordahem. We also have your classic Sri Lankan butter cake. It's so good.
It's also like Sri Lankan like butter cake is like panjamari. So you just press it and it's boing.
It's so good. It's so good.
And it's that like yellow colour and like that like brown. It's
fantastic. It's actually fantastic.
And then going back to episode 1 and like birthday cakes.
Yes, it's the moisture in the cake. So there's that. And then we're going to go sort of moving into the sweety nibbly bits.
Oh, before you do that, there was, again, in my research, there was a shortie that I'm going to say got created. But I came across it for the first time like a couple years back on Instagram. Kitchen Gorilla Dude. And he posted about one shortie which he called the Mithivedi. So the Mithivedi is basically a shortie. I think they've tried to find like irony in it. So it's a shortie that they created like post Prachana, and it's basically meant to mean landmine because Sri Lanka was like covered in landmines during the Prachana. So like they've made a shortie and then named it Mithivedi. I've seen 2 types of fillings for a Mithivedi. The article said it was potatoes and boiled egg. It's also like covered in breadcrumbs, like rolls madri. And then the second filling that I heard of is atrachi, mutton curry, avicii mutta, and seeni sambal.
Whoa.
Right? And then so the where they've said that is the fillings for the Mithivedi, they've then gone on to be like, the reason why it's been coined Mithivedi is because when you bite into it, it's like an explosion of flavour in your mouth. And I was like, quite artistic then, isn't it? And if you want a recipe, like a step-by-step guide, please check out Kitchen Gorilla.
Also, you mentioned seeni sambal bun. Fantastic.
Yeah.
And you can have it with Marcy or no. So moving on from all our shorties, we're going to go into Palahaaram and we're going to whiz through these because you're going to find out that me and Danisha don't have sweet tooths. Sweet Palahaaram section. Sippi. Oh my god, I wrote Python Murunde, but it looks like I read Pythia Murunde. Anyway. Python Murunde. Rich cake. Dodal. Oh my god. So, more information. I have a nut allergy. So half these things that I mentioned I've never tried in my life. So, vegetarian with a nut allergy. Dodal though. Dodal has always fascinated me. Because it's like, it's not translucent, but it kind of is. It's like a really sexy Palahaaram. Do you not think? Especially like the black ones. Do you not think so? No? They're just like, look at me. I feel like they're talking like slow-mo. Not like the red and like the green, the mustard. The mustard. None of that mustard. Just the black.
So dodal for me has like, it never appealed to me.
Okay, yeah, with the cashews, it just looks like a really like it's a mysterious, like a sweet someone.
I now like dodal, but I can literally like when you. It's
fat though, like
right. It's like it comes in like an oblong block, right?
Yeah.
I will slice that cross section, and then I will
just
slice that.
Yeah.
And I need like a sliver.
Is it really sweet? Is it like really?
Sweet? So the dodal is basically panangatti.
Yeah. Okay.
It's panangatti. So what they would do in Sri Lanka is like they will like cook it, right, and then they turn it into like
like jelly
salmon, and then they'll set it. With the dodol, you put loads of, I think it's like nalana, you put
some
grease.
Or turngain. I think it's turngain.
Maybe that's it.
I think it's turngain.
That's what it is, dude.
Yeah,
Panangati and
coconut oil, and they just until it just becomes this thing. But do not ask me what the hell muscat is made of, because I'm lost. I don't know.
I think it's
but food colour, I don't know.
But the panangati doesn't need, the dodol doesn't need it because it's the dark panangati colour.
It looks like a very attractive dessert.
Is it because it's like dark brown with the nuts?
No, it's like sleek. No?
Yeah, all that oil.
Moving on from that to we still have a few more actually.
Yeah.
We have Vipen.
Also today when I realised Vipen is Palahaaram Palahaaram, but
you know what I also don't like bananas. This episode is just
no.
We're not banana people. Like,
mate,
we're not about that. No.
You're gonna see how much of not a banana person I am.
The Vipers that are the size of my fist.
100%, yes.
That are like basically with like one slice of Palahaaram a minute. I'll take those. But the homemade ones, sometimes my mama used to make it. Like, God bless her soul.
You have a warm,
the nut of a glaze, mushy banana, and I'd be like, what did I do to deserve this? Rava laddu. Never had it, but is it good? Is it nice? Is it nice?
I don't.
No,
bro.
But you've at least tasted it, right? So like,
Rava laddu is hard. Okay, so like,
yes,
it's
no bundi, but you know.
Yeah, but it's like you're trying a
And then we have bundi laddu, and then we have a dates cake, which is quite nice. I quite like a dates cake.
Do you?
Yeah. I do like a dates cake. But sometimes but what they do is they put cashew in it, then no dates cake for Nishani. Savoury, we got murukku. I love a good hot murukku, you know, like a spicy. No, you're them waste mans like the ullu in it. You like the ullu and the oh my god.
I want the listen, I'll say with my whole chest, I want the basic ass murukku, okay?
No, I do like it, but I do like them spicy though. And we have my favourite, I think, of all of these. Parithuravada. Love Parithuravada.
100%.
Fantastic. But them Ilakia ones will give you the shits if you have more than 3 in a row.
Oh, 100%.
FYI.
100%.
It is not safe.
Listen, tried and tested, got the t-shirt.
Absolutely, yeah. And, no, it's not my favourite. My second favourite. Then we have mixture.
Okay.
After this, which is, again, I've never tried.
No? Not for
but
you.
I feel like, would you like mixture?
I love mixture.
Yeah.
But not for you.
No, not for me. But I feel like it's got all the makers of everything you'd like hot, savoury.
Yeah. It's
like
also
nibbly.
great because, again, not for something that you can appreciate, but you've got like peanuts, and then if you get like really sexy mixture combinations, you get like cashews in there as well.
Yeah.
And then if it's like a really, really sexy one, you get like Maravali Kalenga chips.
Oh my god. In the mixture? Damn, I love Maravali Kalenga chips. Also will give you a stomach kick if you consume too much. And finally, pahoda, which I think is the OG. I love pahoda. It's great. But we were going to like have snacks during this episode, and I suggested pahoda.
You bought, bruv.
And I was like, all you'd hear is me like, and then she's like, I don't think that's a good idea. So we had to veto. Oh, but we do have drinks. Because are we just going to hold off on the drinks until we mention the drinks?
So when you were like, grab a snack, I was going to do this and be like, look, we have snacks.
So we have shorteats and a drink here, but we're probably not going to do anything with them because it's going to cause a lot of noise.
Also,
but we can just clink out drinks though.
Okay.
Talk about these in a second. I've got a lovely Nelly crush and she's got a necto. And then we move into what I call them as all-day nibbles, because I don't think any of these have like a time.
I feel like you really nicely categorized those, because I would when you wrote it down, I was like, she's right.
I'm gonna go with kitty birth, which I know we spoke about in episode 1 about it being served in like wedding breakfast and stuff. But again, you can have it all day. Pongal, and there's so many kinds of. You can have ven pongal, you can have your sakara pongal, you can have like just savory pongal. So that's a whole pongal vahe.
If anyone's been to London Sri Murugan Koil, they do a mulla hisalam.
Their mulla hisalam used to slap.
So good.
And then they start putting cashews in there.
Yeah, so good with the cashews though. I'm so sorry.
But even their pongal though, like
so
even their,
good.
yeah. My sister's always said that the minute if you're ever undiagnosed from your problems, the first thing you're going to do is tie Murugan Koil pongal. Tiruvala's coming up, guys. I think we'll actually be in Tirubala season at Murugan Koil when this episode actually drops. I think it actually starts. Tirubala will actually start on this day, I believe. So today is Puliyad Pusa. Go to Murugan Koil, get some pongal.
Brilliant.
Sundal, which I think is absolute OG, which is like Tanga chotte, chickpea, red chilies, roasted, fantastic. A little bit of karagu. Wow.
Onions.
Onions. Oh, fantastic. Upuma. So this is quite a tough one, I'm not gonna lie, because this could have gone into like maybe the mains or like a tiffin. We should have had a tiffin or like a tea time.
Tea time was like a thing, and
It's
like
a big thing. It's a big thing. You'd buy snacks just at tea time.
which is mad because I've not ever had like tea time.
So
in
interesting
my house.
you say that. So we don't have tea time, but my grandparents used to live with us. We'd always have tea time. And my upper bar would go to the Tamilakana in the morning and buy snacks at all of us at tea time. Yeah.
Well,
and then
that's so cute.
And then we'd all have like I don't drink tea or coffee, right? So like,
Yeah.
especially like after 10 a.m. it's not happening.
Yeah.
But I would just be there for like a chindabula for tea time. Whether it be like a malam bun or it'd be like a
Yeah.
urunda,
So, like-
pulukodi. Don't even.
Mate, Amma was telling me like about these sandwiches. So she was like, Vallapan
Yeah.
Vandavanga,
Yeah.
and then they'll cut off the crust.
Yeah.
They add food coloring, and then you make these sandwiches that are like orange, purple, and green inside. Have you ever seen them? They're like traffic light sandwiches.
I've legit never seen them in my life.
So she was
What
like,
goes in the sandwiches?
yeah. So she was like, so you get like grated carrots and like chilies, onions, and like upu mulahe,
Yeah.
and you like chop it up really finely. It's like a carrot sambal but in a sandwich. But then they put like food colorings in them. So Amma was like, whenever she used to go to visit someone's house for like tea time or whatever, I
Yeah.
was like, this is so bizarre because like
It's a whole thing.
she was like, sometimes I'm the auntie Marilyn sandwich that and I'm
Wow.
like, sandwich or the tea.
Interesting, because when you mentioned the bread, I thought you were going to talk about, you know, when you get like old bread, it's gone a bit hard. They make like a bread
Rus.
varvel thing. Have you ever had that? It's like bread that's kind of going stale.
Yeah.
You like chop it up into like fine pieces, and then you put like onion, tool, red chilies, and it's like a upama but like bread. It's like they used to do it in like, again, it was more like my grandma would do it when the bread was going off and stuff. And when I
Yeah.
got married, me and my husband bonded over his grandma making that for him.
Oh.
And I was like, I thought it was just like my household thing,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
it's like a very common thing to do, like just old bread or that's kind of going off.
It's like
Make it
making like a
little bread.
crouton
It's-
sundae.
Yeah, basically. But it's just so great. It's so
Oh,
good.
nice.
Yeah. And then after that, we had obviously Ölurunde, which you mentioned, which I've only had when I was younger. I've not had it since.
So I used to eat a urunda. So you used to get like two different versions. So you get the urunda
It's
that's like the sesame
seeds,
balls,
yeah.
but then they have like a lupahu, which is
Yeah.
like pasty almost, and
Yeah.
comes like
Yeah.
a wrapper.
Oh my god,
I hate them.
I hate them because you think they're gonna taste banging because of the way they're wrapped. And also, we're gonna go straight into weird foods. Pulukodi. With pulukodi, when you're younger, I genuinely thought they had something to do with worms. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh, because
Yeah,
pulu.
because pulukodi. And my dad used to bang out pulukodi.
If you would like, I can give you the life cycle of a pulukudiyal.
Go for it.
Right. So you have palm trees, Panamaran,
Yes.
that have nungu, which is the fruit.
Yes.
So nungu is basically, if we take like ileni, a tennamaram, which is a coconut tree, and a panamaram, and we look at that side by side.
Yeah.
Nungu is the Palmyra version of ileni.
Yeah.
And then once you allow it to ripen, it becomes a panambalam.
Yeah.
The panambalam is then roasted on a fire. I think Panamaran fruits harvest like lots, so like you can't always eat all the fruit that the tree produces.
Okay.
So oftentimes they'll just let the fruits drop and
Yeah.
let them naturally rot and things. And then when the seeds come out of it, like from when like animals have eaten all the fruit and just like discarded the seeds, around November and December time, they used to call a man to come and plant all the kotta, the seeds, right? And then you plant those because you're going to get rainy seasons. And then in February and March time, they would have sprouted and you get panankalanga,
Yeah.
which is effectively like the root
Yeah.
or like the shoot of like what would be a palm tree.
Yeah.
That panankalanga, you soak it in water and then like discard the outer husk, and ullukla, you've got like a ver madri
right.
say. If you cut and keep half of that and let it dry, that becomes odiyal,
Yeah.
which then gets ground and to become odiyal ma, or you can make odiyal puttu also.
So, have you had audio?
Never.
Not into it at all. Anyway.
So then that is what happens to that panankalanga raw if it's left to dry.
Okay.
If you then aviku the panankalanga, panankulangu, you can eat sweet or savory,
Yeah.
which is what Amma said.
Yeah.
When she used to eat it sweet, it's like with sakura and
Yeah.
tanga chotu.
Yeah.
And then if you have it savory, it's like making a making
it's
your
like
pan
maravilli.
fry
Yeah.
salmon.
Yeah.
Exactly like that. And then if you then avikku that panankulangu and then let it dry, it becomes pullukodiyal.
Why couldn't they call it a panankodi?
I don't.
That is my qualm.
Maybe.
Why not? Where did the pulu? Is it something to do with the way it was the growing part of it? I don't know. So if you have had pulukodi, it kind of tastes like nothing, really.
It's awful.
It's
disgusting.
And you've got to
taste
chew for ages. Like, it takes ages. And it would just be tea time snack. It's weird.
It's like
weird.
chewing cardboard.
I think it'd be one of those things like, you know, like how your taste buds develop over time.
No.
You like go from loving olive, hating olives,
because
to loving
they've
them.
been eating it since they were chinnin.
Oh yeah, no. Yeah, some people also like have a tetini with no sugar in it and eat it with panangati. Because then it's like supplementing for the sugar, so then and it's healthier as well.
And then what Amma said about panangati when I was on the phone with her, there was a sanction against sugar.
Yeah.
Everyone had panangati. Yeah, and that's why it became such a popular staple to have like with your tea.
Yeah.
Also from Panamaram comes kallu, which is like our homegrown moonshine.
Moonshine!
I didn't know that kallu as the liquid actually comes from the tree.
Yes.
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
I thought it was like the fruit had been fermented and then that's how it becomes alcoholic.
I think you just have to cut it at the right time.
Yeah,
like,
and then So Amma was like, they go up with like a mansati and then they bring the tanni.
Yeah.
And under tanni, she's like, it's really alkaline, almost like ulanid, when it's not alcoholic.
Okay, fine.
And then you add sunnambu to it, which is like a calcium paste. And that's what ferments it, and then it becomes alcoholic.
Okay, fine.
That's how kallu comes. So literally, we have found a way to use every single part of a Panamaram. We are resourceful.
We are. You know what though? It's really interesting because I think as a culture, we're very eco-friendly.
Yeah.
And we're very thrifty.
Yeah.
And we're very good at repurposing. Like so much of the stuff that we do is so like, we're so conscious of the environment. We don't actually realise how conscious we are.
Yeah.
As a culture. I think about it all the time.
Do you think it's like a environment conscious or do you think it's like a vunaka kuda?
Definitely, but that
in itself is environment conscious, even if you're not like, I'm doing it for the betterment of nature.
Yeah. I don't want to waste anything.
Yeah.
And the final thing in this section is kali, which is
Ulatama Tangapal.
Oh, so
good. Wait, I lost it.
It's just, you put all of it in.
Ulatama Tangapal, sakkara, and then when you've like boiled, like once it's come to formation, you urakuv it, and then you add like mulahu and siraham, like you udikuv it. Because kali is actually like, it's a healthy snack. It's not like a snack for
it's not for fun. It's not for fun. No.
So like you're given kali
it's
a lot.
When you're like, konjam. Yeah. It tastes like just home on a winter's day. And yeah, that wraps me up for the starters and nibbly section of this episode.
So moving on to now our mains. We thought we'd break it down. We decided on make it like a menu where you choose your base and then we'll go into like all the curries that can come with your bases. So like going into the bases, rice, absolute staple if you're Tamil, and then puttu, idiyappam, which are literally made from like rice flour, dosa, idli, kotroti. Yeah. So those are our main bases because like those are like our carby bases basically, and then on top of that you can go like all veg, you can go veg and meat, you can go veg and seafood, like the options are limitless.
Are you a puttu idiyappam person?
I think I like puttu, but it depends. But I feel like idiyappam I'll always eat.
Okay.
So I think I'm actually idiyappam, whereas before I would argue like that I'm a puttu person.
Okay, yeah. I think for me it's like the idiyappam and like a mutta sodi and like a sambal. It's just simple. Nice. Like it's just so good.
I'm an idiyappam.
But like a puttu katrika poriyal, like what beats that? So it's very difficult. And then the next part of that goes on to just sort of like the veg curry. So we want to start with veg curries first because we're quite vegan, I think we realise, because a lot of our curries really have a coconut milk base with your veggies on top of that. And so a lot of Tamil cuisine is vegan.
100%.
So much of it. So if we just go from our basic curries, like what you'd find at like a wedding, let's say.
Okay.
We start off with a parpu, which is lentils. Kira, yes.
Kadrigai.
Yes. Katiga kulambu.
So then...
Yes, give me the vibes, bro.
Okay, Kadriga kulambu, Kadriga pal curry, Kadriga sambal. Oh my god!
But also, you can have like a Vandika kulambu. You could have like a Vandika pal curry.
Although Vandika pal curry though.
No, I love Vandika pal curry. I love it. I love it. This is so wrong. It's so wrong. Like the consistency.
It's not right.
But it's so right. No, but that with just rice, yeah. Oh, it's so good. What other kulumbus you can get? You can get like a urlakalang kulambu. You can get like a
kulambu. You wouldn't get like a urlakalang pal curry. You'd get like a urlakalang puratal.
Yes.
I love a urlakalang puratal.
Yeah.
Now then you can go into like all the root veg.
Yeah.
So maravali kalangu, karna.
Maravali is something that I've developed love for over time.
I love maravali.
Yeah, but like it needs to be done right. Like the maravali is
they have to like cook. Sometimes they don't cook it.
They don't
in the middle, and it's like
yeah, bro. Like no, Karnaka. I'm not a fan. Not a fan.
It's false advertisement.
Yeah,
is what is karnakalangu.
Yeah,
okay, you cannot make it to look like a rachi curry or at least at best a soya curry. You can't make it look like that and then it's some kulangu here, because when you're a child and you're not told, you think, oh my god, look, like an arachi curry, and then you put loads on your plate.
So weird.
And it's not.
That's so funny.
It's not. It's
like the beans, and you got like the paitanga. Really, it's just paitanga, to be honest.
The thing is, I thought paitanga is just a different. It's like
beans,
basically, right?
Yeah,
but then you have
it's like angana katriga madri, it's angana beans. Like, do you know what I mean? How we have it. It's not really angana katriga, but you know what I mean.
I'm not gonna tell you what angana katriga is called.
It is. Isn't it Chinese?
Yeah,
it is Chinese.
So when we went to Italy for her birthday,
we went with a bunch of aunties.
We went with aunties, and on the Vallikalam, the aunties were like Marakari Pulaya, like enna seiradu. And we ended up going to like this little shop, right? Let me tell you, these aunties absolutely, like, I don't know how they did it.
No, but they
but like
it.
we went shopping. We went shopping.
No, we went with the jacuzzi.
We went shopping. We came back. They'd bought some things, and we
did the shopping. They were in the hot tub. We gave them everything, and then we went into the hot tub. And then, like, bang! 2 hours later,
soru, parpu, katrika kulambu.
There's no tool in this nadi.
Yeah,
no, we take tool with us.
They've made katrika kulambu using tinned tomatoes, paprika, and lemon juice, and they've
made it.
They've smashed a kulambu. Like, it's uraipu puli ella mirgudu in the katrika kulambu. It was like, what's this sorcery?
Yeah, mate. We come out of the hot tub and it's just like maragari and jukari. We were like, excuse me, what happened?
So good. It was so good.
It was fantastic.
But yeah, when we went to this little kare, we were like, oh my god, I'm gonna cut it again.
Yeah, paitanga. Then you have like your gova here, your beetroot, all of that, like gova, cabbage.
Yeah, cabbage.
I love gova. And then beetroot. Beetroot's so good. Pulsanikai. That's something I've learned to love with time.
I don't know how I feel about pulsanikai.
Exactly what it is.
If they don't add the spice element,
no,
and
it's just
sweet.
Then
I'm
it's
like,
just
get out.
Yeah.
Pavakai.
Yeah.
I love pavakai. Not as curry though.
No,
I need the pavakai porichu and in like a tail sambal someone.
Only as a poriyal is pavakai, okay?
Yeah.
And that kind of takes like the sambal situation. Like you have like you can have beetroot sambal, you can have a carrot chambal, which is lovely. We're in a katika sambal we've already said. What other sambals
like
are there?
Inji sambal.
Inji sambal is so good.
And then like obviously like your normal tanga, like I'm gonna orange
normal sambal.
Sambal.
Yeah, which is also amazing.
I love that sambal.
And then we go to like the poriyal here. Everything we've listed but in poriyal form.
Poriyal.
Katrika poriyal. Valaka poriyal. Pavaka poriyal.
Yeah.
But
the only other thing that I'm gonna add into here are like vadaham. More times than not, you're just like, it's like leaves. It's verbila which have been dried and like made.
But even the vadaham can come in different forms. You can have like a valapu vadaham, like different forms of leaves. So like a lot of people sometimes they don't like the verpila form. They'll make it from like vala ila, like that whole thing. Yeah.
And then vare, valepu vare,
all the
that.
varalare. Varalare sambal featuring Ajit Kumar. All the leaves become a sambal,
What is
basically.
coriander, man? Kotamali?
Yes, there we go.
Kotamali.
Everything that's a leaf, basically. Beetroot. People have even made, beetroot illa when you get in the fresh beetroot. They've made that into sambal as well.
Oh.
Yeah, literally anything that. We're so resourceful. We use every part.
Talking about rice, so in our episode 1 we were talking about like the different types of rice, and we were talking about the different types of flours. So urula, you get nellu from like the paddy fields, and you get like a sack of nellu that comes to your house.
Grain of rice. Yeah.
Sack of raw rice.
Raw rice, yeah.
In its husk. You get 2 versions of rice like in Tamil cuisine. You get pache arasi and pulungal arasi. So pache arasi is only used, please correct me if there's any other things that it can be used for, but as far as my mom is concerned, pongal and kanji. You use pulungal arasi, which is parboiled, for rice, and then if you want to make rice flour after that. When you get nellu, when you get the rice in a sack and you take nellu, say for example, you take half of that sack, you aviku the rice with the husk on.
Okay.
And then you leave it to dry. All the nutrients that come in rice is actually in the husk.
Okay.
In pressure cooking it effectively and aviking it, you're like pushing the nutrients into the rice grain. And then once you've dried it and break it out of the husk and you've got the rice is full of nutrients, also has a lower glycemic index.
Okay.
Which is probably why angada kuttarasi is preferred for people who have diabetes.
Yeah.
Because
so interesting. Yeah.
Isn't it mad?
That takes us on to, we've kind of wrapped up on the veg. No, I'm not gonna wrap up the veg. I'm gonna leave it on 2 controversial topics. Is it appalam or papadam?
Papadam.
Papadam.
But I know I will use it interchangeably, but normally I will be like papadam porikonam.
On a Friday, I'm appalam. Monday. You know, like people are really passionate about it being papadam or appalam.
Yeah.
And I would use both. Like,
I know that a lot of people use appalam, so I will often like say appalam when I'm talking to other people
who are passionate about it.
No, because I would just like assume that their default is appalam.
Okay.
I find it quite rare that people's default, like Tamala Gulukula, I find it quite rare that their default is papadam.
But we're going to leave it on an even bigger controversial topic.
Go on. Drop it.
Is mutta marakari or not? As I'm a scientist, let me start off there. And I used to do animal research, right? And in the animal housing unit, the woman who was coordinating the unit, we'd go and we'd check on the animals, whatever. And you form like a rapport. And she was saying how she owns a farm. And this was,
You form a rapport with the lady, yeah?
Yes.
Not with the animals.
But both, to be honest with you. It was shortly after this that I became vegetarian, so there we go. And she was telling me that she owns a farm and she has like chickens and hens and roosters and whatever. And she was saying, I get so many eggs from these hens that, I just give them to my friends. And at this point in my life, just about 8 years ago, this would have been, I was like, you just get eggs. And I was like, oh, you get eggs from your hens. Cool, right? And I was like, how can you, in my head, the dialogue is, how can you give like live chickens away to your friends? Aren't they going to hatch? That was what was running through my head.
Yes.
Because
eggs equal baby chicken.
Equals baby chicken.
Yes.
Right? Right. Because that's how I was raised. And then we were talking and she was like, like they lay an egg every day. We have a rooster around, but like he's kind of kept separately because it kind of like motivates the hens to lay the eggs. Because he's like there and they were trying to show off and whatever. And then she was saying every day they lay an egg and it's just like a chicken period. And I was like, excuse me? I was like, what do you mean? And she was like, yeah, every day they lay an egg and you get 7 eggs. Sometimes it varies. There's not always one a day. And then you can just like have them. Like they're basically fresh eggs that you'd get on a farm. And I was like, until then, I did not know that hens just lay eggs. Chuma. Every day. Or like, without them being fertilized. Obviously, if they've mated with a rooster, then that's going to come out and they sit on it. Then that becomes like a whole chicken. That whole becomes like a whole alive situation. But on their own, it's just a chicken period. And then you just have an excess of eggs that you have to get rid of and give to people.
So, yeah. So
and she was telling me all this. I was like, excuse me, what? So like, and then I was like, oh my God. It's like, technically, yes, they come from a chicken, but it's not like you're eating the chicken. And then after that, I was like, oh, eggs. And then I had this debate with everyone because often we like, no, mutte is matcha, mutte is matcha. And I'm like, but you don't question it because your parents raised you with that your entire life.
100%.
Your entire life. You're like, mutte definitely is matcha. I'm like, of course I can't. And I talked to my mum about it. And like, the weirdest thing is, they all raised cordial back home.
Yes.
That's
right. Oh my God. I'm so glad you said this. So I had this conversation with my mum because when you and I had the conversation,
Yeah.
I was like, Amma,
Yeah.
did you know?
Yeah.
And she goes, Illa, ஊர்ல எங்களுக்கு முட்டை இட்டா கோழி முட்டை இட்டா சில நேரம் உடை கேக்கல குஞ்சு வரும்.
Yeah.
So immediate, because I don't think they've then potentially been there to witness the mating.
Yeah.
So they're literally like, oh, in the முட்டைக்குள்ள குஞ்சு வந்துட்டுது. So then naturally, I think for them, it's like, then it's matcham.
Because they've never probably had a corley without the serval around.
Yeah.
The serval's probably always been there. That's
exactly.
Everyday kokoroko, everyday thing, chicken's coming out. No, it's not.
Yeah.
It's not a thing. They probably just never had a house of hens. Also, things like a pecking order. If you've got several hens, the dominant hen will establish its place within the hen party. Oh, hen party!
Pecking order.
And hence you have a pecking order. So like the most dominant hen, she will like sit at the top. And then like they arrange themselves in a hierarchy. Hence a pecking order. I know. Me and my friend did that animal house, yeah? It was great. But I think even when I learnt it, so much in me, like on a Friday, it took me so long to be like, oh, I'm going to have a cake. Like, it took me so much to be like, today I'm going to have cake. Because technically it's not. Like, especially the way you get eggs now, it's just a bunch of hens that are being stimulated, like, you know, externally. It's none of it. It's like, there's no rooster. Maybe they might have rooster, but they're not all going to be producing chicks.
I wonder how they,
that gross hen farming.
Yeah, I wonder how they artificially.
They must do like.
Do you reckon there's
shit,
something
like,
that goes cockero?
they just have like one strutting rooster up and down. Oh, so going from corley,
that's
going
just
straight into
non-veg. So with the meat, obvious, like chicken, mutton is like staples. And one that came across quite a bit that we saw also on like restaurant menus was mare, which is deer.
Yes.
Then they had muyel, which was also like.
So like, in Palm Beach, the menu we did in our research. We went to eat at a restaurant.
Any excuse.
On it there was venison. Venison on the menu, right? Or mare, one of the two. I mean, they're both the same thing, but like it was either mare or venison on the menu. And we're like, oh my God, but there was no beef, which is a whole conversation we got into. We were like, do we include beef? Because we know people who do have beef curries, beef podiyal and stuff, and beef Columbus and stuff. Yeah. But not so much in like a menu. You wouldn't really find it. Then we like scoped a few menus. We couldn't really find beef anywhere.
Also, there isn't really space for like pork either.
Or pork, yeah.
So like thinking back,
but people do have pandirachi, like they 100%, do. Yeah.
100%. I've eaten pandirachi when I've like visited friends and stuff.
Yeah.
So I know it is something that gets cooked.
And then you have all of this will come in like a podiyal form. Yeah. And sometimes you can get like a bone soddy version of them. You have like an elimbu kulambu. That's really good. I used to be, I could not do like the other body parts of like, I could do like a mutton leg. And so that's where my expertise
struggle
ends.
to have like mutton curry if it's not taken from the leg.
Can you taste the differences in the parts of the...
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my God, and like bone marrow.
And bone marrow. Everyone, bone marrow. But then you get like liver.
Yeah.
You can get the fat of the animal as well. People deep fry the fat.
They'll use all of it. Kidneys, everything.
Rattavara. Have you had one of those?
No.
Blood. That's made
like black pudding.
Yes. But
how is it? Is it like deep fried?
No, I think they couldn't do until it like solidifies, and then they'll like interesting.
Your colon.
Even like with fish, you can have like the fish head.
No,
have like the brain, the
you're gonna
eyes.
give me
it's like
PTSD.
all of that. Like you can buy fish heads on their own. Like in Sealand, you'll find a frozen bag of fish heads, And I know that because I saw it last week. As islanders, seafood is where we thrive. We love fish. And I know when I was being raised, fish was a massive thing in I would say more than like the non-veg, we were all about the different kinds of seafood. So I have a list of
Take
fish.
it away, girl.
A list of fish. Lovely and nicely compiled by my aunt. But we have like, I want to say 15 here. So here we go. So we have parameen, vilameen, curry keerameen, nethilimeen, seelameen, கொடுவாமீன் கெளுத்தி மீன் முரல் மீன் கிழக்கான் மீன் சூட மீன் அயில் மீன் வாழை மீன் சூர மீன் திருக்கை மீன் my god, something's wrong, and sangara மீன், which sounds like it could be like melodious. I've left one till the end because of a funny story, and that's arukula. Arukula I've always known chinnanlirundu as a fish. The first time in my adult life when I went to a restaurant, I was at the pizza place and it said the pizza toppings were like, you know, it was like goat's cheese, red onion, arugula. I was sat there going, is arugula Tamil? Then I had to like whip my phone out. I didn't know. I remember the first time I went, I didn't order it because I was convinced they'd put Tamil fish on the pizza. And the next time, and I just kept popping up and I was like, what the hell is arugula, bruv? Rocket is what it was. What? I was very confused. So this is my story, my shameful story.
Brilliant.
And I was definitely way too old to know that. And then I was really angry because why would you not just write rocket? Why are you out here with your botanical name, please? Like, do you know what I mean?
Brilliant.
Moving on from that, we have our top 5 contenders for the main seafood, and that's nandu, ral, kanavai, singara, which is lobster, and sura.
I've never heard of the lobster.
Neither have I, but it was on the list that was given to me.
Singara.
I was like, I've never had lobster.
So like, saraka curries are typically given to women post childbirth and when they start menstruating.
Not to be confused with saraku, that's alcohol. Just putting that out there. There's a different, I think
Not
different rana.
I don't even know what rana is. I can't even tell you because I've written English. The ingredients of what goes into saraku is like almost Ayurvedic in that it's quite healing.
It tastes herbally.
Yes, so it's herbal.
It's
so
proper
like
herbal.
Coriander, kotthamalli, pepper, milahu, siraham, cumin, fennel, perenchiraham, turmeric, manjal, fenugreek, vendayam. And then, so like, I think when you can buy saraka mixes in kadayal that can come maybe in powder form. Yeah. So you'll put all of that in it. But then what Amma said is sometimes you can add like inji, ulli and vengayam and make it like a paste.
Okay.
So like they put all of that in it. So like the curry is still rusi, but it's not uraipu that might delay healing.
Yeah. It's just the chili aspect of it is
gone.
Just completely removed. Okay.
So like when if you eat meat after you've given birth, they'll give you like lots of saraka curry and lots of suravare because it will help like age your supply basically.
Okay, yeah, nice.
So it's just like I'm so fascinated about like how much of our food goes into like health benefits and things like that. Yeah. And I just find it amazing that like within our culture, like it's also a lot of like where we're just told to eat these things because and it's just like if I was given the context, even if I didn't like it, I'd probably still eat it because I just find it so fascinating. And that's just me speaking.
And I think saraku, also like saraku in our house is normalised even before I start my period.
Which is so good.
Yeah, and so I didn't even realise. I didn't even know. So when I was being given saraku after I started my period, it was so just normal thing. Yeah. And like I didn't quite like saraku in like the chicken and mutton version of things, but a mean saraku was just amazing. Like I would just eat that for jokes. Because I can imagine if you were given saraku for the first time when you started your period, it's very distinct taste to like a normal kulam.
Is it?
Yeah.
I've never had saraku curry.
See, if you've never, I don't know. See, in your adult life, I don't know if you, I think you'd appreciate what it's made of and what it stands for. Yeah. But as like a curry, you might just be like, why? I could just have a normal like, curry. Yeah. Which is, I think the hack, like give it to everyone since they're little. Yeah. And just normal, like just make it a thing.
Good for you, you might as well.
Isn't it? Like, yeah.
So segueing from our mains is appam, which we were like, we don't really know where to put it because you can have it savory and sweet. I will eat. I like savory appam, which like a mudda appam.
Yeah.
Like,
Me, when I have tangapal appam,
that's enough.
it's sweet
enough.
for me.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
like, that I get.
Yeah.
Like, if I want
So
to
you
have
like
a sweet appam, but
yeah.
I'll have the sweet appam with sambal.
No.
Yeah.
No, that's so incorrect.
No, it's not incorrect.
It's so incorrect. I'm not a fan of appam in general. I feel like it's nibbly. I don't think it's a main.
Yes, it's like a snacky
Yeah,
thing. So like
it's
when
a
I've gone
snacky
to
thing.
Hoppers,
Yeah.
and like Hoppers, the whole point of Hoppers is
Yes,
appam,
I never
right?
get Hoppers and
I
Hoppers. No.
struggle because
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't want an appam as a main.
No.
Because like it's not, so like when
Yeah.
I have, you know, when you go to like parties now and they have like an appam station,
Yes.
I love
Yes.
it.
It's just appam is like
It's not like a main
no,
course.
no. So when you go
100%
to
agree.
places and they're like, oh, we're serving like mains, is appam today, like my heart sinks. I'm like, oh no. Because it's like, and also like for me, like I need to have like, I don't know, like quite a few mudda appams with sambal and stuff.
Yeah.
For it to be like,
Yeah, quite
yeah,
filling.
yeah. And
absolutely.
like a plain appam is dead.
No.
A plain appam is so dead.
No,
Like,
I'm not into it.
yeah. And then that takes us into dessert.
Desserts.
I've put it into sort of like serve hot and served cold because there's quite a lot of desserts in our culture. I'm actually going to have probably missed quite a few things, so let me know.
But also, yeah.
Um,
But I feel like some of the things in your served cold can be served hot and
yes,
vice versa.
yes. In the cold section, my favorite all time ice cream and jelly,
Is that a
like
Tamil
vanilla.
thing?
I don't know, but I don't know. But like I've only had it in Tamil households, and I've not had it in years. And then I went to
Ice
someone's
cream and jelly.
yeah, like vanilla ice cream and like strawberry jelly. Just so good.
I feel like I've had that at like school.
Really? Like, oh, I've never had it in school, so I've never had it that isn't a Tamil household. Like, I've never had it. Yeah.
Interesting.
And then I hadn't had it in years, and then I was at a birthday party in January, in a Tamil household, and this is like a 30th birthday party, and they served ice cream and jelly.
Oh my
And
god.
I was like, you're the best house ever. This one is hot or cold, depends. Rasavalli.
yeah.
Purple yams?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not a fan. Are you a fan?
No.
No, but my whole family is a fan.
Well,
yeah.
It's also like, whilst we're not fans of sweet things, I think we've also very quickly realised we are the anomaly.
Yes,
We're not the majority.
We're not saying
at
that we're
all.
the normal. No.
No, not at all.
No, but also with rasavalli, I would argue it's quite similar to kali in that
Yes.
consistency and lumpiness wise.
Yes.
I just don't like the taste of rasavalli. I quite like the
Having-
colour though. The colour is the only thing about it that I'm like, oh,
No.
it's not right, but it's okay. Ooh, Whitney. Pineapple pluff, which actually is, which some people call
Fluff.
fluff. No, they call it pluff. It's pineapple fluff.
But they call it pluff.
Because they just can't say the F. Anyway, we're now. Yeah.
No, don't. Because like going back to like mixture,
Yeah.
I've always understood it as mixture, and as in like
A mixture.
It's a mixture of things. That's why
Yes.
it's called mixture.
Yeah.
But I've seen like our age kids call it mixer.
Huh?
Our parents would be like mixer,
No, I've never heard mixer.
but my parents
No.
have said like
No,
it's
shut up.
been mixture. But it's like when you're saying it and you don't know,
Yeah.
it's like mixer. The
Yeah.
pluff,
The
understandable.
Pluff, yeah.
It's
So then-
also like callow.
Yes. So yeah. Pineapple pluff, fluff, whatever you like to call it.
So
that.
good.
Fruit salad.
Fruit salad.
Episode
Sick.
1. Please revisit that one. I was younger because sometimes they put nuts in it, right?
Yeah.
I used to just go in and eat the condensed milk until I realised I shouldn't. Payasam, which I actually quite love if it's done correctly, without
Yeah.
the nuts, of course. So yeah, which is
And
what?
then you get like pie. How do you feel about payasam with semia?
no noodles. No, don't put noodles in
The
faluda.
vermicelli.
Don't put noodles in payasam. None of this
Noodles
coca
in
noodles is in faluda. Don't. I don't need extra carbohydrates in my drinks, in my Slurpee stuff. I
And
know
also,
people-
can you imagine, like, for someone who hasn't grown up eating payasam,
Yeah.
payasam it will throw you off, like,
Yeah,
texture-wise,
yeah,
what it
yeah.
looks like.
Yeah.
It's
and
like
what
a-
it tastes like. And vatilapam.
Vattilapam.
Which, again, looks like it'd be great, but there's always nuts on it, so.
Yeah. Also, vattilapam is, like, very heavy on the elaka. So like if you're into so like we put élaga in almost all of our dessert things, right?
Yeah,
Like payasam has some élaga in it.
Oh no! So payasam, they should
No,
never
not
be-
the pods.
No,
I think you need to areca the
And
inside
then
bits. Yeah.
yes.
If you happen to have payasam that has the plums that are like the light color plums, and then you've got cardamom pods in there, no,
no
Like
plums.
when I go somewhere and
Also,
then they have
plums encompassing raisins, sultanas, everything.
the plums.
What plums? Just generic plums.
But isn't plums just raisins and sultanas? It's not anything else.
It's not anything else.
Except it's not a plum.
No,
It's
also
a grape.
it's not a plum. And then going from one slurp to another, we're going to talk about drinks. And we have our favourite, sherbet and faluda. I had a faluda last week.
It's sherbet.
Sarbat! It's like jigridanda. It's named the drink. But we're not here about that. The noodles and the surmi
And the jelly.
And oh no, I like the no. Listen. So the one that I had, it was rose milk and milk, whatever. Just the liquid, the pink liquid. 1 scoop of vanilla ice cream.
Yeah.
And strawberry jelly bits. That's it.
Okay, fine.
That's what it was fantastic.
Did they have kasa?
No, there's like very minimal kasa.
So like me.
I love
on the
kasa
other
though.
hand, I love kasa.
It's just really, it's so entertaining when you're drinking it. Like it's occupying your mouth for no reason.
Yeah.
What is it called? Tukmaria. Isn't that what they're called? Tukmaria seeds. I think that's what kasa is.
Basil seeds.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
I've got the Indian methi side vinegary. You know, like the.
Fine.
So the Asian word is tukmaria or something like that.
Rio, which is like
in Yalpanam.
Is like the famous kind of thing for desserts. They put loads of stuff in their faludas as well.
I didn't have the faluda. I just had the ice cream. I don't know. Next time I'll go have the faluda.
Yeah.
But I get scared about faluda because sometimes, because it's a dessert place, I thought they'd make it really extravagant. And then I got nervous. But I really should have asked them, like, do you put pineapple? Is there ananasi in your faluda? And I went down. And then we have the wonderful Nelly Crush. So Nelly Crush, so when I was growing up, before you get the Nelly Crush that I wish we could show you, but we'll put a picture here of the bottle that you get now. Like the original Nelly Crush came from a place called Palahaaram. It's like you have Jaffna, you have Palahaaram, then it's like Palali, and like it's not far from Telipal actually.
Oh.
Yeah, it's like this is that Palahaaram, and this is like, so when you used to buy the little diluted thingy.
What is Nelly Crush?
Gooseberry.
Amla.
And so that's Nelly Crush. And so what typically happens is before you got the fizzy version that we're drinking now, it was diluted like cordial. You would get it. And then it was nice because when our parents came here, obviously they had like Robinsons, but it would have been really nice to finally get the import from Tolahati because that would have been like their cordial that they were used to growing up. So again, using gooseberry to make juices.
I recently volunteered myself to bite into a Nellikai. It's not okay. It's not okay.
No.
I drank water so quickly. And I was like, how? Because like Nelly Crush and Nellikai are worlds apart.
Yeah, absolutely. And what I started doing last summer was making them into ice lollies. A little bit of Nelly Crush cordial and then Tanni, freeze it. Fantastic. I'd really recommend. And finally on my drinks list is the, of course, Elephant brand, the Elephant House brand of drinks, which is your Necto, ginger beer, Nelly Crush, orange barley, but I want to give a particular shout out to Portolo, which actually I don't think was Elephant House.
No, it wasn't. No. It came in a different bottle.
It was a different bottle. It was like long as well, and it was fantastic. And the equivalent of that you can buy in African countries, which is like the purple Fanta.
More concentrated in fizziness.
Yes.
More concentrated.
It tastes
in
better,
taste.
like Necto. Like it's so much better than Necto, in my opinion. So that's Portolo. And that wraps up the drinks and solid dessert section somewhat. We now go into what everyone's waiting for.
Woo! Coming from a tropical island, we bring you every Vahayana tropical fruit. Mambalam, Varepalam, Pappasipalam, Vilambalam, Koyapalam, Palapalam, Madulampalam, Annasipalam, Nungu, Sitapalam, Sapota, Vennaipalam, Durian, disgusting.
Durian.
Jambu palam, rambutan, mangustan, mundari apple, navel palam, and koditodai. Vahayana mambalams. Ambalavali,
I think.
Ambalavi,
yeah.
Ambalavi, Sambatu, Pilat, Malgova, Artha Kolumbu, Vellai Kolumbu, Pandi, Seren, which sound like names. I'm done with my mangoes. I'm about to start Valapalam. Kadali, Idarai, Kappal, Kolikudu, Savvale,
Yeah.
Sini Kadali, and Ane Wale. I was like, there are gonna be words on here that we use our Tamil accent for.
Yes.
So like rambutan,
Rambutan.
I only know how to say as
No, please,
rambutan.
please. Let me tell you. I have a story. In year 6, did you ever read Kenzuki's Kingdom?
No.
So Michael Mapergo, and in that book, this kid is lost on an island. He's eating, for the first time I'm hearing, a rambutan.
Yes.
Right? And I remember reading this thinking, rambutan?
Yeah.
Like when you're like 9 or 10, like, oh, I'm going to rambutan. But I remember hearing it for the first time, pronounced not the way we'd say it, and being genuinely confused. Like, Appa. And I went home and I said, today I learned about a rambutan. And he was like, get out of my house.
That, right? Because when we say rambutan, we're like rolling our R's.
Yeah.
Also, mangostan is how we say it in Tamil, but it's mangosteen.
Is it like steen?
Steen.
Sounds like a band.
Mangosteen.
Next up, we have the mangosteen.
But with mangostan.
Because we have so much, and a lot of it when we were growing up as well. I remember we used to get pilapalam in tins. Like the tin pilapalam was so good, which is going to take us onto weird foods.
Yes. Oh my God, brilliant.
Not weird foods, we shouldn't judge, but like some combinations
that are, I'd say some combinations of food that you wouldn't consider typical.
But
and I think
they're done, yeah.
I think it's also a massive thing just generally, like
Yes,
globally
yes,
as well, like
yes.
chicken and waffles. Like they're combinations that you don't normally consider would work, but in some cases it works. And these combinations are combinations that either we have eaten growing up, or we know people in our family, extended family, friends, a lot adults that I know eat these combinations of food.
So I have had the pilapalam puttu. I have had that growing up. Like, not often, but I definitely have had it.
Nah, you're not a true savoury person.
No, but I had it because it was given to me. It'd always be like, "Saapattu, indanga pilapalam odekram, have it with your puttu." Like, it was almost like, here you go. And then I remember eating. I was like, I was quite indifferent, if I'm being honest. I wasn't like, oh, this is life. But I know people who would have been like, and then that falls into like the Valapalam puttu and
Valapalam puttu sini.
Yeah, see, but people do it. Like, people love it.
Puttu mambalam.
Yeah,
I think it's so nostalgic for them.
Yeah,
as well.
yeah. Because for them, the availability of all these palangu would have just been around the corner, or even in their front garden. So like, why would I not just go purunga something and have in my puttu? And that's dessert.
Yeah,
they don't need to fancy it up.
Yeah,
this is how any pasapad done.
Literally.
And then there was a few more on your list that were they were just getting more and more controversial.
Yeah, so then I've also heard of like idiyappam pal sini.
Oh, okay, yeah, fine.
That you give to like chinna pillayalukku.
Yeah, fine. Right? Yeah. Can I go on to the?
Yes, so then you can go.
So as you said, Colombo. So I don't even know if this is on your list, but I've seen people eat payasam.
Yeah.
And kathira Colombo on a valela. I've seen people go and get payasam and then put kathira Colombo in it.
Yes.
And then mix that.
Okay. And then from katrika, okay.
I was
like payasam katrika, I've not seen it, but it wouldn't surprise me. But then because you've mentioned katrika, I've definitely done this. Because I prefer savoury, or if the pongal is too, like, I do it with pongal, and it's not something that I will seek out to do, and I typically do it at home, like in the confines of my home. If there's katrika in the fridge, or like sambal, because I need something to counteract the sweetness, I will add something savoury and urepa to it, and I understand. But then I've also seen, back to payasam, people do payasam and like vada.
Yes.
Very typical.
Yes.
Like very
yes.
common.
Yes.
Payasam and appalam / papadam.
Yes.
Also very typical. Fine.
Moving on from like the sweet weird varieties. The Tide Mandam, can you please stand up?
I'll stand up,
need
but
to be
my
stopped.
head...
You don't need to be stopped.
No.
You don't need to be stopped.
No, listen, okay,
it's
1 second.
It's going in everything.
Wait. Let's reel it back for a second. If Tayir wasn't supposed to be enjoyed like that, you wouldn't have things like Tayir Vada or Tayir Sadam.
Yes,
okay?
But not with idiyappam.
Yeah. If it's uraipu, what do you want me to do? It's not like I'm having like strawberry yogurt with my savoury food. It's like, it has to be also full fat Greek yogurt.
Yeah.
Like, if you try to give me like low fat or like natural, get out. To begin with, Tayir was introduced into my diet because I couldn't handle the spice. And I then just got like, I love Tayir.
I hate it. It's like, I like it if I will have it as like, as part of your curries, Tayir, like a little spoon of Tayir is just a part of them.
Nah.
Like, I'm okay. Like,
Are you like a ipidi marakari sapraal?
I'm a little bit, no, I'm like this. And then it becomes a kulel. I used to be full kulel all the time.
Yeah.
But then I realised it was just, I was CBA, I get hungry. I was CBA spending the time to kulel it.
Yeah.
And I'd rather just stick my hands in. And then just like, so the tide for me, it was like, I wouldn't actually do it for urepu. It was more like, it gives a taste.
Whereas for me, I only know food with tayir. So eating food without tayir is like something is lacking. Again, very control. I will not add rasam to my food. Like my rice and curry, I won't add rasam to it.
Do people add rasam? Like if you've got like a marakari day and you've got all your curries, in addition to their curry, do they also put rasam on that same? But I always thought people have rasam at the end. Like tani sora.
I don't know. I don't really. So
'Cause
like
whenever
some people you can have will have like tani sora and rasam.
Yeah.
Or like they'll wait and then have just
Yeah.
like a little bit of sora
and
with
a little bit of
rasam.
rasam. Yeah, yeah.
They
yeah.
might just like the flavour for it.
Yeah, yeah.
Interesting.
It'll
Are you
throw
a
off the
rasam
balance.
fan?
No, I have it kalasila tani sora there. But
Because
I'm not
it's
gonna go
like a
up for rasam.
puli. Because it's puli.
Yeah,
Is
it's
that why?
different. It's such a strong flavored
Flavour.
salmon.
Yeah.
It bangs with rice on its own. I feel like it's significant enough to be eaten on its own. It doesn't need accompaniment.
Also, like when I make my kuliyal with tayir, I like boil it up.
No, I don't do that either. No, yeah.
I have like it's
Yeah.
just becomes and I'm
It's triggering me because when I was younger, I'm the eldest kid. She's the second. Yes, she's not the eldest. When I was growing up, there's a story, and I'm trying to not let the psychology behind Urutina Kuleel get to me because my sister couldn't handle spice. I would have to eat my own food with my own hand, but bear in mind, it would be like 10 and 8. Wouldn't even be like 4 and 2.
Yeah.
She would get it done in balls for her,
Oh.
and then she'd get teeth with the balls,
Oh. Yeah. Okay.
and I'd be sat next to her,
having to eat.
having to use my hands.
Oh,
A part of me vehemently is against tide because
it reminds
me of
not being fed. Oh, babe.
for me when I couldn't eat spice, it would just be like you're not strong enough.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like, come on, what are you doing? Come on.
Yeah.
Whereas for her, it's hey, tide is happening. I'm like, and because of it, I started hating yogurt.
Same.
So which is why as time has gone on, I've learned to love it because it
Okay.
does bring favour. Like, but also I'll only have it in the kuleel.
I'm a full tired man.
Yeah. So, but I think there's a lot of tired mandem out there. To be fair,
Yeah.
I think every household has at least one tired mandem.
I think you just know a lot of tired mandems.
Yeah.
So like
Or
that's
just weak.
That's not something that's like I've not heard before. I've actually heard people be like, "How are you like? You've got a lot of vice
No, but you know
and
what?
you can't handle
It's really
spice." And I'm
interesting
like,
though. It's not even about the spice. Sometimes when you've got a curry that's really spicy, sometimes I find the Thai doesn't even help. So if you want, I would just go get more rice because that actually dilutes the flavour. Whereas it's just cold, and then I've got this hot food, and I have this cold Thai, and then my food becomes lukewarm, and I'm stressed.
stop trying to ruin Thai.
Yeah, and I'm like, why
You
is it
cannot
become
do
like?
that.
Is it come like room temp for me? I'm like, no, I'm getting angry because I
No,
want it
love
soda, but it's spicy, so I just go get some more rice.
Filming this, we're like in the middle of summer right now, and then that also brings us to like a huge thing that's eaten in summertime for Tamils is cool.
We had like cool parties. Like we'd
Like
have,
you call everyone around, like you make a
cool
massive,
yeah, come over, yeah.
Sandu any fish vahal, and then you put like maravali kalanga in it. You can, and then you put
I'm pretty sure
beans.
Yeah.
You put also like Pullukodiyal, which is jackfruit seeds. Odiyalma. It's almost,
Isn't it thickening?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's thickening. It's
but
like,
I think it might give it a taste
yes,
as well.
it gives it a
It-
very
very
distinct taste.
which is very like it's a staple ingredient in your cool.
Yeah, I had people make vegetarian cool for me.
Yeah.
And it's cool, but it's not cool. That's it. But it's not the
It's
same.
just not the
Now that I
same.
know what a seafood cool tastes like, yeah. But every time it's summertime, they'll be like cool catch, but I'm hungry.
Yeah, I wonder why it's a summertime thing.
Yeah, it's like Average for barbecue.
Yeah,
But yeah, yeah.
Oh my God, yeah.
But like the
Seafood cool time.
yeah.
And that wraps up our 4th episode, season 1, Oru Virunthukku Porom. We've covered everything that we could think of, and if there is anything that we've missed
Yeah.
out, please let us know. Like starters, snacks, mains, desserts, the various different, you know, combinations of foods that you can find that you may agree with, you may not agree with.
But that really is it from us today. Probably one of our favourite episodes, and it's definitely made us hungry. And so because we are hungry now, we now are going to eat our shorties. 100%. Best believe we did not even rehearse that was a one take. This is the Asian at Home podcast. This is Dashani,
Danisha, and we will see you on our next episode.
Bye guys.
Bye guys.